So she said, you can totally make a cool lampshade with it. Just check out some YouTube tutorials and recycle them. I look at her and try to explain. Look, these slides are from Latin America, and I'm from there too. Finding this is significant for me. I don't want to turn them into a lampshade. So she responds, oh, you're from Latin America. Then she says, why Latin American people want to live here? I really don't get it. I would love to live in one of those beautiful countries, on the beach, surrounded by all that calm and nature.
As I stepped off the plane onto this wonderfully warm tropical island, I knew my visit was going to be delightful, despite the formalities of my duties. After my meetings, I took time to experience the island. My first day in Puerto Rico was filled with excitement and anticipation.
It works, actually, it works. I like this
I had
picture.
heard so much about the annual carnival, and today was the day it kicked off. Walking through the bustling streets of San Juan, I couldn't help but be drawn to the pulsating rhythms of salsa music and the colorful decorations adorning the buildings. I struck up conversations with some friendly locals. I listened with interest, trying not to look suspicious. Everybody here is in a good mood because of the celebration, so I'm sure it will be easy to complete all my tasks. At the end of the week, I could take a walk and take pictures as a normal tourist.
In the same box as the slides, I found old notepads and loose papers. Some were random notes. I couldn't understand them without context. Another notepad had a lot of pages torn out, but I found a couple with notes about the slides, like a travel journey or what seems to be a diary entry. One of the slide boxes also has a name, Tom Hilton, a common name, but I don't know why it rings a bell. So I recall an exhibition of CIA declassified documents that I saw in the Museum of Memory in Chile, related to the School of the Americas, la Escuela de las Américas.
Training in motion. Documents well delivered, isolated shore spots and state packaged may be required. Also use with deliveries to await. Hostilities secretaries man should nor. Alberto working is concerned the adequacy supplies, the canine.
The Escuela de las Americas, also known as the School of the Americas, SOA, was not a Cold War project in the traditional sense, but it played a significant role during the Cold War era in training military personnel from Latin American countries.
The following are the principal coercive techniques of interrogation: arrest, detention, deprivation of sensory stimuli through solitary confinement or similar methods, threats and fear, debility, pain, heightened suggestibility and hypnosis, narcosis, and induced regression.
The primary mission of the School of the Americas was to provide training to military officers and personnel from various Latin American countries. During the Cold War, the United States viewed Latin America as a region of strategic importance due to concerns about the spread of communism. The SOA played a role in training Latin American military and Syrian forces in counterinsurgency techniques and tactics, which were often seen as necessary to combat the threat of communism.
So we had the FUPI. It was the Puerto Rico Pro Independence University Federation, the FUPI. and it was from the UPR and like students being very involved with pro-independence movements. And since this was during essentially the Cold War, they were just deemed as communists. So there was like this idea of that, oh, if you're pro-independence, you're just a communist, which is still very present. Like when I went to the University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras, a lot of people were like, oh, you're gonna be there with the peludos, like the peludos, the comunistas, and all of that.
The Puerto Rican independence movement
and associated acts of violence were fueled by a complex mix of historical, social, and political factors. Puerto Rico had been a colony of Spain before becoming a possession of the United States.
It's still very present. Actually, one of my professors, he's amazing, and he was part of those movements. He's a historian, and he found his CI, like FBI, la carpeta, what we call la carpeta. He found it in the archive, and like shots of him being investigated and all of that, which was like obviously very scary for him. Like this idea of repression, it's also very present still in the present day activism. So there's like this fear that you're constantly being watched by the media, by internet, like by the police, and like essentially you could lose your job, you could lose like your education, like all of these prospects, because it's like this generational fear of being associated with pro-independence movements. So it's like this is not a one-way terrorist violence. Like there was also violence from the state, and I think that that's very important. And even the Puerto Ricans could not use the Puerto Rican flag. It was seen as subversive. This generational fear of being associated with pro-independence movements. Would I call it terrorism? I honestly would not, personally, due to my political allegiance. Like, it was the same thing. Obviously, they used violence as well to kind of create a new world, a new order where the Puerto Rican independence was feasible. But they were also bombed. So it's like this is not a one-way terrorist violence. Like there was also violence from the state, and I think that that's very important. And even during the gag law, which was legal until 1954, I think, Puerto Ricans could not use the Puerto Rican flag. It was seen as subversive.